Connect in, checking in with those areas that might feel achy or sore, but also open and good. Try to have that nice balance of good with the bad, not just observing what needs to be worked on, but start to observe what might already be there, what might already be closer. And if you're feeling brave enough to move past the physical, maybe you also check in with that mental and emotional side. Starting to just see how you're doing. Recognizing that being authentic and honest with yourself takes a little bit of courage. Maybe it takes a whole lot of courage. My favorite definition of being humble or humility is seeing yourself correctly. So not thinking that to be humble is to be lowly or to think so low of yourself that you get almost into that poor me or I don't deserve anything. I don't think that's how we were intended to live and be. But it's also not that prideful, I deserve everything, or I'm so good at this and that. But it's somewhere there in the middle. Somewhere there where you understand that you have gifts and talents that you can share with other people. But there's always things that we can work on and progress towards better. That's seeing yourself correctly. For me, that is my theme for today's class. My little intention is to be humble, to excel where I want to, and to take it easy where I need to. Maybe now you set your intention. It can be the same or it can be completely different. But in finding that little word or phrase that resonates within you. We'll also start to connect in with the breath, starting to do a little bit of breath work. And so try to really lengthen those inhales and the exhales. And using that diaphragm to breathe. Feeling those breaths be full as you really engage through that diaphragm. And you start to kind of massage that vagus nerve that runs kind of right behind there. And as you start to stimulate that, you stimulate that parasympathetic nervous system, that rest and digest, where cortisol stops being produced, that stress hormone. And just by taking a few deep breaths right there, you can start to reduce your stress by simply not producing anymore. If you want to add on to your deep breath, you can add on that beautiful Ujjayi breath, which is that breath that starts to create a little bit of heat and a little bit of fire and has an audible exhale sound. So a pretty neutral inhale, usually through the nose, if you're able to. And on that exhale, you imagine fogging up a mirror, like you're feel that little restriction in the mouth that's created, but doing so with the mouth closed, so the breath actually exits out through the nose. So it's a beautiful inhale and exhale using the nose, but with a little bit of force behind it when you take that exhale. And it's a really handy breath for helping stabilize and secure. So if you imagine being in your warrior two, taking that nice strong exhale, that and reaching those arms out a little bit farther. I'll try to cue that Ujjayi breath throughout the class, but feel free to take it with you throughout as well. Or if it doesn't serve you, if it doesn't feel good today, then you can just leave it behind, choosing your breath that you want to use. We'll take 3 or 4 more little Ujjayi breaths, taking that breath in, feeling the strength of that breath out. Feel the core start to engage, that belly button draw inward. And take that inhale. Notice how on the inhale is when things start to relax. On the exhale, things become really strong and engaged. Start to engage or flex a little bit more through those core muscles. Take another inhale, let everything go soft, like jello. And on that exhale, find that intention. Maybe start to notice it a little more through the shoulders or through the arms, starting to get a little stronger as we focus in through there today. And then just taking one more, just that normal Ujjayi breath, that inhale, let everything soften. That exhale, that... You can keep that Ujjayi breath going, or if you need a little break from it, release it. And start to find some other little movements waking the body up. Little wiggles and rolls through the fingers and the ankles. And finding some more organic movements. Maybe you give yourself a nice big hug. If you're still in a seated position, let's lay down. The knees can be bent, the feet planted, or the legs can be extended long, your choice. We'll take that beautiful good morning stretch. So let's sweep those arms up overhead. Let it be stretchy and good through the arms, the underarms, to that rib cage. You've got some lymph nodes in the underarms, and this stretch kind of helps release them. So really reach those arms up. Let it feel good. Maybe you link the hands and pull the arms a little bit more. And take that exhale. Just let the arms hang heavy overhead. Take a nice big breath out. Let's find one more nice inhale breath, reaching it up so nice and tall, so good. Maybe you extend the legs and get that full body, getting that nice fascial release. You're waking everything up if you point through the toes. You can even create a little tension here, curling the toes in, squeezing through the glutes and the legs, and squeeze those shoulder blades, curl the fingers in. So create tension, squeeze it all as hard as you can, and take a big exhale, let it all go, relax. Feel the body just release. So good. Let's hug the knees in towards the chest, giving that low back a little love. Taking that gentle rock from side to side. So good. Starting to just become aware of the spine. Maybe you feel it over the shoulder blades, becoming aware of the shoulders. Excellent. We'll come to stillness and holding on to the knees. We'll just say a quick hello to the hips. Start to draw the knees in circles in opposite directions. So circles can be small, or they can be big, or they can start small and get bigger. As they start to get bigger, start to really try to trace the hips as much as you can. Try to explore that hip socket. Finding nice big movements. Then we'll go the opposite direction over the next breath or two here. Start to switch and go the other way. It's funny, it's still the same circles, but I find going the opposite direction so much more rigid. Beautiful. Start to make those circles go a little bit smaller. A little bit smaller still. Excellent. Have the circles just be so tiny that it's pretty much just you that can see the little movement of the knees. And starting to really become aware of all those little micro tissues in the body. Beautiful. And then take actual stillness. Release the hands. They can either hang out alongside the body. That's a good place for them to be if you want to add on more using the arms. Or you can tuck the hands in underneath those sits bones. That really helps stabilize and helps that low back stay nice and connected inwards. And so your choice, but maybe you start with the hands tucked under, and when you're ready, you can release them. So it just adds a touch of more of that gentleness to that. Let's work on extending those feet just a little bit more up towards the ceiling. If you're still just waking up into those hamstrings, you can have a bend to those knees, or you can really press those heels up. Maybe you give those hamstrings a nice big stretch. You guys were in yesterday's class, and so maybe you still have some openness left over, or maybe your day, you really feel this. You can alternate bending between one knee and the next just to get into that stretch a little more. Excellent. And then from here, we'll alternate lowering one leg down and raising that leg back up, switching to the other side. So let's focus in on that core here and try to connect in with that Ujjayi breath. Use that exhale, that intention to lower, and that inhale to work on softening as you get back up towards the top. So to make this more gentle, add a bigger bend to the knees and tap the feet closer towards the body. For more intensity, those legs are staying longer and going right back up towards the ceiling. So we're working on our hip flexors here, and we're working on those lower abdominals. I'm finding some movements here, trying to keep that tailbone tucked under. So keep checking in with that low back. If that belly button's starting to press outwards or up towards the ceiling to help stabilize, take a little moment, hit the reset button, draw everything in. Maybe you adjust, and then keep going back into the movements. All right, if you're ready to start adding on some more here, you can add in the arms. And so bring the arms up towards the ceiling, and then either matching, same arm, same leg, reaching up overhead. That'll be your most intensive version of this. Or if you just bring the elbows out towards the side, that actually makes it a little bit more gentle. And so take what you need. It takes a little bit of brain work if you're coordinating opposites or togethers or switching between the two. Find what feels good. The off towards the side actually takes a little bit more brain work. So if you want to work on those neural pathways, that's a great option. All right, let's take 5 more either side, keeping nice and strong. Try to keep that form, keep drawing that belly button in, and remembering to breathe. Don't be holding that breath here. Beautiful. 2 more either side. Excellent. Last one. So good. Bend the knees, plant those feet down, give those hip flexors a little break, give them some love. Drop the knees from side to side, taking that windshield wiper. I love the windshield wiper because if you bring the feet just a little bit wider than you normally would, you can start to get into those quads and get into the hip flexors as you drop it down. You can even just press the hip up a little bit on that one side. Get a beautiful stretch there. Switch over to the other side. Oh, so good. Excellent. And coming back towards that stillness, planting those feet back down. Roll those shoulder blades back and down. Make sure you've got lots of surface area through the shoulders. Take a little bit of a tuck of the chin so you're not overarching through the neck. Take a nice inhale. See if you can lengthen the body. Take that exhale, find that engagement through the core, and start to press into the feet, lifting the hips up off the ground. You can start nice and gentle here, or if you're ready for that openness through the front body, you can really press those hips up, trying to feel that stretch through quads, hip flexors, and maybe even through the core. Lifting and pressing those hips up. And if you want a little more, press the shoulder blades down in towards the ground. Become aware of the tops of the shoulders. More still, you can press the palms of the hands into the ground and the elbows. Feel that upper body really start to engage in this nice bridge posture. Check in with the knees. Make sure they're not splaying open or falling inwards. Nice alignment. Excellent. Keep holding here for one more beautiful breath. Take that inhale, and on that exhale, maybe you find a little bit of extra height. Beautiful. Let's roll down bit by bit, relaxing the body as each vertebrae starts to plant down. Tapping that tailbone down. Be here for just a quick second. Maybe you change where the feet react or take any adjustments you need. And press back into the feet. Engage through that core and lift those hips up off the ground again. Noticing the shoulders. Maybe you press in on that upper body, palms of the hand and the elbows. Nice and strong. Beautiful. Keep that engagement. Start to notice the feet. Are you pressing in the weight more towards the heels or more towards the ball of the feet or the toes? And can you start to neutralize that and even that out? Are you pressing in more towards left foot or right foot? Becoming nice and aware of how the feet are rooted in. Excellent. And then we'll add on to this here. So let's keep working the glutes and the core here. I'm going to start to shift the weight towards my right foot, and my left foot, I'm lifting the heel up, and either it's coming to a hover, or I find that if I get my knee over my hip, this is easier, or you can start to extend those toes up towards the ceiling, extending that leg nice and long, pushing lots of force into that right glute. It's working hard here. Let's take 3 little dips or extend the toes up higher, trying to kick that left foot up. And take a little lower down. Lift the left leg, use those hips, lift the hips, take a lower down. Here's our little last one. Take a nice big lift it up. Take that lower down. Let's come on back towards that neutral. Bend through the left leg, plant the feet down. Take a little stretch, just press the hips up. You can bring the hands under the hips for a little supported bridge. Beautiful. All right, let's engage back into those feet. Release the hands back down onto the ground, either engaging into those shoulders and hands, that upper body. And then we'll shift the weight towards that left foot. And starting to bring that right foot up, either keeping the knee bent or extending the leg nice and long. You can point through the toes if you want here. Let's take those 3 dips. Keep pressing into that left foot and lift those hips nice and high. Take that little lower down. Beautiful. There's one. Lift it up. Find that height. And lower. Excellent. Here we go. Pressing those hips up. Take that lower down. Come back towards neutral. Bend the knee. Plant the feet. Bring those hands underneath the hips. Take a little supported bridge. Let the feet rest down. Feel into the heels and the toes. Maybe give the toes a little squeeze into the mat. And then release the hands from underneath the hips and roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. And coming all the way down. Excellent. Hug both knees in towards the chest, just countering those back bends. Taking poses and counter pose. If you want a little more, maybe you lift the head and the shoulders up, rolling into that nice little tiny ball. You can take a little rock from side to side here. Find the stillness and roll or unroll, letting the head be the last thing to plant. Excellent. Hug the right knee in towards the chest. Send the left leg long, but keep it at a hover. And start to engage through there. Hug that right knee in just a little more. Get that nice squeeze through the hip. And then let's switch to the other side. Switching nice and slowly. Hug the left knee in. Extend the right leg long. Keep it at a bit of a hover. Really draw that left knee in a little bit more. Take that squeeze. Beautiful. So here's our movement. And switching to the other knee, you can let it be all about the stretch. Or switching to the other side, you can start to add just a little bit more speed to it, and maybe just using the fingertips to draw the knee in. That little extra, kick the heel out. Moving from side to side, starting to feel into those core muscles, into those abdominals. And if you want a little bit more, bring the head and the shoulders back up off the ground. So hugging the one knee in, switching to the other side. If you want more still, stop touching the legs. Trying to squeeze those knees in as much as possible. Bring them in. Other side, so the head and shoulders lifted. You can even hold the head up if you want. Start to use those upper abdominals. If that neck gets tired, go ahead and bring the head back down. Or like me, holding the head up, helping release some of that from the neck. Excellent. Let's take 5 more either side. You can stop at any point that you need to or modify. Not extending the legs as long, so you can just let these be littler. Excellent. For 3, for 2, and last set. Beautiful. Feet plant down, head plant down. Take what you need. Maybe it's a windshield wiper. Maybe you hug the knees into the chest. Excellent. Let's take a little twist to kind of stretch into that center of the body. Reach those arms out wide, left and right. Try palms facing up. That helps those shoulders roll back and down. I love to just hover the knees over the hips and then drop the legs towards one side. And if the legs don't come all the way down, you can plant the feet down. But just trying to roll onto that right hip as much as possible while keeping the left shoulder down. If that left shoulder starts to float up, just bring the hand in a little closer to the body. Maybe that right hand drapes across the leg. Maybe you extend the right legs long, making that nice little L shape. It gets a little deeper into the hips, into the IT band. Bring a bend back to the knees if you extended. Release the bind and start to bring those knees back up through center. And drop them off towards the other side. Trying to bring that left hip down. Knee over knee, hip over hip to the best of your ability. Right shoulder staying glued down. Maybe you bring that left hand on top of the legs. Maybe you extend the legs long. And take a breath. Maybe it's a Ujjayi breath. Maybe it's just a normal breath. And release, bending the knees, coming back towards center. Excellent. I'm going to hug my knees in towards my chest or roll up towards seated. If you need to stay on your side and press yourself up, go ahead and do so. But I'm wanting to come in to a seated position with my knees bent and my feet planted just in front of me here. Working on our little bow pose. And so hugging the knees in towards the chest, roll those shoulders back and down, extend the crown of the head here. If you want, you can tuck the hands underneath the legs. That helps kind of support where we're going here. And just maybe walk the feet in. Maybe you come to tippy toes. Try to find that little balance point where you can lift the feet up off the ground. So your arms and your legs are doing all the work here. We're not really using our core. Maybe from here, you just see what it's like to lift the feet. You might feel that core start to engage here, trying to bring those shins parallel. Notice, are you hunching into your spine here? Can you keep finding that length? Yeah, oh, that's really good. Love that. Add a point to the toes. Give those ankles a little stretch. Add a flex to the feet. Press those heels out. See if you can draw the toes any closer to your face. And then relax through the feet, hanging out more towards neutral. All right, keeping that nice length of the spine, bring the hands just more so to the outer edges of the knees. So I still have my fingers underneath the legs for that support, but I'm getting ready to engage a little bit stronger. Option to keep those shins parallel to the ground or add a bend to the knees or even touch tippy toes down for that more gentleness. If you're ready for more, you can start to release one hand, and then the next hand, using that core, not hunching, keep lifting that heart up towards the ceiling. Keep drawing that belly button in towards the chest. And if you want more still, imagine you have a block between the knees that you're squeezing everything up and in, engaging through that mula bandha, through the pelvic floor. Excellent. Take that exhale, plant those feet back down, hug those knees in towards the chest and lengthen that spine. Beautiful. So I have a love for going from boat to canoe. Some nice little core work for us there. And so I've been trying to think of how to help modify it. And so I'll show you first what boat to canoe is if you're not familiar with it. And so it's taking that nice boat pose, even if you've got the toes down, and then reclining to your canoe pose, which keeps the head and the shoulders up. I guess you can keep the feet planted down, and then you use those core muscles to come back up and towards that boat pose. So if you need the modified version, if you want to start gentle and keep the feet down towards the ground and keep those fingers pressing forward, help lifting those heart forwards, roll the shoulders back and down. And let's take one together, take that nice little lower down. Maybe you just lower a little bit, or maybe you work on getting some of those vertebrae to connect down. Excellent. Press on back up, reach those fingers forward, lift the heart. Excellent. If you're ready for a little more, maybe you come back in towards that boat pose, starting with holding the backs of the knees, finding that little hover. Take that exhale, come in towards your little canoe pose, keep those palms maybe facing upwards, and bend the knees, come on back up towards the boat. You can take a little break if you want, or roll those shoulders back and down and lengthen. Let's take a total of 5 of these. So we're gonna lower down. Those feet can connect if they need to. Come on back up. If you want more here, bring the arms farther away from the body. Maybe you try it in a little T position. If you want more still, on this next one, maybe you reach those arms up overhead. Taking the little boat canoe, reaching it up. Come on back up. If you want more still, lengthen through the legs. But lots of times we start to compromise our core work and we start to use our low back and round through it. in this one. So trying to take just that last one here, I think, coming into that little canoe. I'm gonna take a little flutter here, kicking through the legs, kicking through the arms. Maybe you're rocking it overhead. And come on back up towards that boat. Hold here for one breath. And exhale, come into a comfortable seated position. Great job on your little boat canoes. All right. Planting those sits bones down. I always like to take a little waddle from side to side. Let's take an inhale, take a nice big reach up. And exhale, a little forward fold. Tuck the chin. And start to create a little pull sensation through the hands. Feel that nice little stretch through the shoulders. Create that little push sensation through the hands. Feel the rounding of the spine. Feel that into the shoulders. Start to feel that. You'll feel that more through the side of the shoulder, right underneath the armpit. As you press in and really round. Create more of that pull sensation. You'll start to feel this more along the spine as the spine lengthens and extends. And then walk yourself back up. Let's come towards all fours. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Excellent. If you need to pad up the knees, you can always roll the mat. Or if you've got a little blanket or one of those nice little knee pads, those work good here. We're going to get into those shoulders and into the arms even more. And I always like to just take a little cat-cow here first. So take one nice cow pose or camel pose, dropping the belly button down. Round that spine up, press those shoulder blades up. And then make your way to a nice neutral flat back. Feeling a little bit of engagement through the core. Excellent. Widen your right fingers. Bring those right fingers nice and wide, pressing into the fingertips as well as the palms. Using the fingers, take some of the weight out of using the wrist itself to have all that load bearing. Excellent. Let's reach the left hand forward and start to extend and press and reach that arm a little bit more forward. Notice, are the shoulders still in line? Maybe you have to draw that left shoulder back just a bit. Excellent. Bring the left hand behind the head, and bend the elbow, and press the elbow forward. Now draw a nice big circle with that elbow, dropping it down and opening up. We'll take a few of them for you to get used to it. So letting just the fingertips stay connected with the head. Start to feel into that shoulder. Excellent. Let's go the opposite direction. Excellent. And then come to a position that you have your elbow in line with your fingertips. So pressing the elbow towards the left. Really try to squeeze through the shoulder blades here. Really almost like you're opening up. Actually, let's take a little moment and open up. So press into that right hand. Bring that left elbow as much up towards the ceiling as you can. Take a little peek. Take that exhale. Bring just the shoulders back down. Try to keep the elbow in line with the head. Beautiful. Reach the left hand forward. Take a nice big stretch. Have a palm facing down here. And then reach the hand like a clock going counterclockwise over towards that 9 o'clock position. Keep those left fingers nice and wide. When you get to that 9 o'clock position, flip the palm. And so the thumb is facing behind you. And then keep the hand circling around towards that 6 o'clock position. You'll have to bend the elbow. And you can just place the hand on the low back. Maybe walk the hand up the spine. And then notice the elbow and the shoulder. Can you find some openness here? Kind of by rolling the shoulders back and down, or more so opening up through the shoulders. And press that shoulder blade back. Excellent. We'll take a slow release, walking the hand back down the spine and towards tailbone. Keeping the palm facing up until you get to that 9 o'clock position. Rotate palm facing down, thumb down points forward, and reach on back up towards the front, towards noon. So good. Bend the elbow, bring the hand behind the head, and lift the elbow as if you're trying to reach the hand down the spine from the top this time. Excellent. Walk the fingertips back up towards the neck. Reach the hand forward. And come towards that 9 o'clock position, having the hand hover. When you get to 9, flip the palm, thumbs pointing down, and continue that journey of that hand coming onto the small of the back and walking the hand up the spine. Rolling those shoulders back and down, still a nice flat back here. Coming towards that max, really engaging through the shoulder to the best of your abilities. Take those little moments, take those little micro adjustments. Excellent, walk the hand back down the spine. Start to take that release, keep the palm up until you get to 9 o'clock. Rotate at the shoulder, reach up towards the top. Then the elbow, bring the hand to the back of the head or the neck. Then fingertip, walk those fingers down the spine. Excellent, we kind of know what we're doing now. So take that release, reach back towards noon. Bring that palm towards 9 o'clock. Flip the wrist, thumb pointing backwards. Back of the hand plants on the small of the back and walk that hand up. Excellent. And take a full breath here. Check in with your tabletop position. Check in with the shoulder. See if you can feel that nice big stretch. And release the hand down the spine. Sweep it out towards the side. Flip the palm. And reach it up towards the top. Take one last bend of the elbow, reach that hand down the back to the best of your abilities. Maybe even grab onto your shirt or the back of your bra and kind of pull that hand a little bit further. Lifting the elbow up a little bit higher. Release the hand back towards that noon and drop the hand down. And give that right hand a little shake. Give it a little love. Maybe take a little sway from side to side. Giving the hips and the low back. We always start to kind of scoop downwards whenever we're in our tabletop for a prolonged period. All right, let's get ready to get that right hand done. I'm gonna flip just so that I can always be showing. So in a nice strong tabletop, widen those left fingers. Always start by planting that left hand a little bit more firmly, squeezing those fingers and kind of bending through those first little knuckles. And then right hand reaches up all its length and press those fingers as far forward as you can. Excellent. Roll that right shoulder back in line with the left shoulder. Bring the palm facing down. And let's come to that 3 o'clock position. Bring the palm down. Extend through those fingers. So good. And flip the palm so thumb faces back. And keep that extension. Keep reaching. Don't bend the elbow until you absolutely have to. Bending the elbow. Bringing the hand up the spine. Walking it up a little higher, starting to feel that nice stretch through the shoulder. Beautiful. And make sure you're not kind of sagging down into this. And keep those shoulders in line and keep trying to press that shoulder back and open. Excellent. Take that release, walk the hand down that tailbone. Keep the palm up until you get to that 3 o'clock position. Flip the palm down, reach it up and forward. Bend through the elbow, reach the hand behind the head. Start to walk it behind or down the spine. Keep pressing that right elbow forward as much as you can. Beautiful. So take that release of the hand, reaching back forward, palm facing down. Coming towards that 3 o'clock position, flipping the thumb or the palm up. Come on back, reaching that arm back behind you, sliding the hand up the spine, and taking that nice stretch and lift. Beautiful. Release back down. Bring that palm back towards 3 o'clock. Flip the palm, reach it forward, bend the elbow, reach that hand down the spine. Lift that elbow, get a nice stretch here. Release the hand, reach it forward. Palm facing down to 3 o'clock. Flip that palm, feel it at the shoulder. Reach the hand back behind you, slide it up the spine. Beautiful. Last little stretch here, so make sure it feels good. Working at the depth that you want to. Release the hand down to the tailbone. Come on back towards 3 o'clock. Flip that palm. Reach it on forward. Bend the elbow. Reach that hand down the back. Excellent. Really extend using that tricep muscle to stretch and reach. Bring the hand back forward and drop the hand down. Maybe you take a little sway from side to side. Beautiful. All right, let's get a little flow sequence in here. So getting ready to come into that nice downward dog. Maybe you adjust the hands and the feet, lift those knees, press into the arms here. Let this all be about the arms and the shoulders. So it's not about lengthening those legs nice and straight. Maybe let's take a bend to those knees, bringing the torso more in line. We're pressing against the thighs. Feel into the arms, into the shoulders. Notice, are you using your fingertips? Are you using your toes? Press in, create resistance here, like those hips just have to float up a little bit more, but the knees are still bent. This is getting into your fascia, that connective tissue of the muscles. And then relax a little bit more. Start to roll into that plank position. You can drop those knees down. Take that exhale, lower the body, let those elbows grace the ribs. Take a little inhale, nice little back bend. Exhale, press back towards that downward dog. Beautiful. Keep finding that length. How do those shoulders feel? That was a nice little warm-up exercise and stretch for them. Maybe you bend the knees. Really gazing at the knees or the toes. Helping melt that heart down towards the knees. So good. Let's roll back into that plank position. Take that lower down, little chaturanga. Inhale, rise it up. Exhale, push back. Take a puppy pose. So keep the knees and the hips in line. Maybe walk the hands a little bit more forward. Bring the forearms down to the ground. If you want, you can bend the elbows here. Bring the palms to touch. And maybe even the thumbs to the back of the neck. Beautiful. This pose is often done really passively, and we're going to activate it. So start to press those elbows down a little bit more. Start to roll those shoulders back and down. Can you get more into the stretch? Almost imagine that your elbows are now your hands, and you're going to start to press just into the knees and into the toes, just ever so slightly. The knees will not lift, but just feel that on the arms and on the shoulders. Beautiful. Take an exhale, release and soften. So to bring those forearms down, you can lift the head here as we get ready to come into our little dolphin pose. So palms facing down, forearms down, and then tuck the toes under, press in, and lift the knees. So here's a little baby dolphin pose. And if you're ready for a little more, that's when you work on lengthening the legs. It sends more weight into the arms, into the shoulders. So if you need to keep the knees bent, go ahead and do so. Keep the head relaxed, looking back behind you. Beautiful. Keep pressing those forearms down. Feel the strength of those shoulders. So good. Excellent. Let's start to drop those knees back down towards the ground. Excellent. Extend your right arm nice and long. Then bring that left hand underneath through that little peekaboo hole that my dog is looking through. So I've got my left palm facing up, my right palm pressing in. Nice little twist action. Beautiful. If you want more, you can take the full kind of lay down on the arm. There's a nice little arm stretch available here. But if you can't get your head down, it's kind of uncomfortable on the neck. So maybe play around with trying to get the arm down or the shoulder down. All right, let's take that release, pressing into that right hand, floating that left hand back up. I'm gonna bring my right hand under the shoulder and reach that left hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale, back towards that nice tabletop position. And tuck the toes under, adjust the hands and the feet as you need to come back towards that nice little downward dog. And send those hips up nice and high. Whether you have the knees bent or not, you're lengthening through those arms. Beautiful. Roll into that plank position. Take that little vinyasa. The exhale to lower. But inhale, take your back bend. Make your way back towards that puppy pose. Hips over the knees. Take a nice stretch here. Really try to melt the heart down. Keeping those arms active. Pressing the hands down. If you can easily get the forehead to the ground here, can't quite see, and start to bring the nose to the ground, or maybe the chin to the ground, almost like you're changing your gaze forward. This is going to help open up right between the shoulder blades, that little bit of spine that often curves or hunches. You're starting to counter that. Take that release, bring the forehead back down if you were looking forehead forward. And then drop those forearms down, elbows underneath the shoulders. And coming back into that dolphin pose, set those shoulders. Imagine rolling those shoulder blades back and down, but you're kind of just creating space. See how you can like lift and lower yourself in between your shoulders. Lots of strength there. Press into the hands, into the elbows, into the toes, and lift the knees, either coming to that hover or lengthening the legs, pressing up nice and strong. Our little dolphin pose is a great prep for a little handstand or forearm stand. So maybe you just walk those toes just an inch or two in, just feeling that little difference. The more you walk your feet in, usually the more your hips go up over the shoulders, adding more weight into the shoulders. Beautiful. Keep that strength. Draw the belly button in. Use the strength of the shoulders. Keep holding. Maybe try that ujjayi breath here. Using those exhales to stabilize. Beautiful. Walk the feet back out if you had them locked in. Lower those knees down to the ground. And start to walk that left hand a little bit more forward. And tuck the right hand in underneath, coming into that little thread the needle. And the right palm reaching through, coming into almost a twist variation. Maybe the shoulder taps down, maybe the head taps down. Or maybe you just keep trying to twist, trying to get that right shoulder as much underneath as the left shoulder as you can. We'll take the release, starting to bring that right hand back. I'm going to just adjust and bring my left hand underneath the left shoulder and reach that right arm up. Take a nice big stretch here. Nice twist, nice shoulder opener. Exhale. Bring that hand back down. Walk those hands back towards that downward dog position. Bend those knees, engage those toes. Lengthen. So good. We're going to take 3 breaths here. You can drop the knees back down if you so choose. For our first breath, we'll reach our left hand towards the knee, the ankle, doing a one-handed downward dog. Maybe take a little gaze underneath that right shoulder. Beautiful. Release that left hand back down. Come right into that other side. Reach that right hand, knee, hip, ankle, whatever you're going for. Gazing underneath that left shoulder. Keep pressing in to the left arm nice and strong. Beautiful. Release it back down. One breath in just your neutral downward dog. Drop the knees down. Nice and wide. Take a little child's pose. Let those shoulders and arms relax. You can bring those elbows in a little closer. Let those hips sink down. Take 3 full breaths here. Ujjayi or otherwise. And start to press into those hands. And start to come on back up, either through your tabletop. One more downward dog here. Bending those knees, lengthening those arms, really pressing in. Use those fingertips. Now look towards the front of your mat. Take a few little steps and find a forward fold. Let's bend the knees nice and deep in this forward fold. Let the torso rest on the legs so that you can get the fingertips down towards the ground. So even if you're really dropping down, tuck the fingers underneath the toes and create a little resistance, a nice little bit of pull on the shoulders. This is our gorilla pose. Let the head and the neck relax. You can press the toes more into the fingers to get more of a stretch through the hands too. Let the arms relax. Just feel the stretch on the shoulders.
And then slowly, softly start to release. Bring the fingers out. And start to lengthen the legs, just coming into your normal forward fold. Reach for opposite elbows. Let the head hang heavy. Maybe you take just a gentle little bounce. This is a great way to get a little deeper into the hamstrings. Maybe take a little sway from side to side. Make sure that feels good on the knees though. Release those hands. Just notice which forearm is closest towards the body and switch, reaching for the opposite elbow. So good. Release the hands. Take an inhale, we'll lengthen, taking that halfway lift. Roll those shoulders back and down. Extend the head far from the ears. Bend the knees, sink the hips, press all the way up. Reach it up nice and tall. Oh, so good. And take that nice stretch. Maybe you link the fingers or flip the palms up. Taking that standing good morning stretch. Let it feel good on the arms. Try to bring the arms a little bit more in line with the ears, drawing those hands back. And then exhale, release, hands towards heart. How are your arms feeling? Oh yeah. Beautiful. Start to press softly in towards the hands just to activate into shoulders, into collarbone. Beautiful. Taking a full inhale, maybe you get a little taller. Exhale, roll those shoulders back and down. Beautiful. Let's inhale. Sweep those arms up, take a nice big stretch and reach upwards. Take an exhale, find your forward fold again. Take an inhale, take that nice halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees. You can firmly plant those hands down, take a nice big step back. Last little vinyasa of the class. So you can take it or you can opt out of it. And take that nice stretch of the shoulders first. Roll into that plank position. Take that exhale, lower the body down. Take that inhale, take your back bend. Maybe you're still rocking a little baby cobra. Maybe you're ready for a little bit more. Maybe you want your full up dog, pressing into the tops of the feet, lifting the knees up off the ground. Your choice. Stay strong through the core in the back there though. Come back towards downward dog. Excellent. All right, here's our last little move from our downward dog. You can try to bend both elbows at the same time or do one and then the next as we come into our dolphin pose from our downward dog. So bring those forearms down. Maybe you get the top of the head down a little bit. Keep pressing into the elbows, press into the shoulders. Excellent. Last little challenge. See if you can come back up to your downward dog. Beautiful. Drop the knees. Take a child's pose. Your knees can stay close together or widen, whatever you would prefer. Knees close together gives that back a little bit more love. Knees wide, give those hips a little more love. If you want, you can bring the hands back towards the heels. We've done lots with the arms extended. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. And start to rise up. And come towards seated. Finding a comfortable seated position. And sitting nice and tall. Finding those sits bones. Excellent. Take an inhale, get really tall. Bring those shoulders up by the ears. Take that exhale, press them back, drop them down. Beautiful. Sweep the arms out in front and palms facing each other. Give yourself a nice big hug. I'm going to bring my left elbow on top. So reaching those hands around, trying to reach back towards the spine. Feel that nice squeeze. And then create a little resistance on the elbows. Lots of times as we kind of do our eagle pose or eagle prep work, we just kind of reach the hands and it's all about reaching for the back. But start to press that bottom elbow up into the top elbow. Oh, hello, we found our shoulder muscles. Maybe bring those elbows up a little bit higher. And keep that top elbow pressing down. Keep that bottom elbow pressing up. Oh, it's so good. We're feeling it. And then relax. Give them a little bit of a break. Let's come towards that traditional eagle pose. Starting to bring the forearms just together. So maybe this is where you hang out. Maybe you can get that right hand to wrap around, trying to bring those palms together. And lift those elbows. Let's keep getting that stretch on the shoulder. Try to reach those arms up, up, up. Find your edge. So not venturing into pain, but it might be uncomfortable. You might be working hard here. Beautiful. On that inhale, create a little back bend. Look up. Reach up just a little more. It's more so you're just tipping back. Take that exhale. Bow it down. Bring those elbows as close to the ground as you can get them, not resting, stay at a hover. Take an inhale, use the core, use those back muscles, rise on back up. Reach those fingertips back and back towards neutral, nice straight spine. Releasing slowly. Reach it out nice and wide left and right. Oh, feels so good now, hey? Let's come on back now, bringing that right elbow on top. Give yourself that nice big hug. Reach those fingertips back. Elbows can be relaxed here as you kind of round through those shoulders. And then straighten everything up, rolling those shoulders back and down. Start to lift those elbows and drawing that bottom elbow up. And press that top elbow down. Oh yeah, feel those shoulder muscles on the other side. Feel that right side. For me, primarily is where I feel it. Usually whichever elbow is on top feels it more. Excellent. Nice big squeeze. Keep squeezing. Maybe lift them up a little higher. Notice the core. Are you pressing your floating ribs out? Draw everything in. Be nice and strong through the spine. And then relax. So good. And start to release the fingertips, coming more towards that eagle pose. You can either just bring the backs of the hands to touch or work on kind of wrapping the hands around each other. And take that inhale and lengthen. Reach those arms up. Nice flat spine here. So we're not back bending here yet. We're just reaching those elbows up. You can even press the forearms together if you want to feel a little bit more here. Excellent. And then let's take that nice back bend and then a nice bow. So reach it up, reaching back behind you. Take that exhale, start to come down to that bow. You come on back up towards that neutral. You can take one more little reach up. And then elbows at neutral. And unbind the hands. Release those arms nice and slowly. Take a nice big stretch out. Palms forward. Trying to reach those backs of the hands together. Really press that collarbone, that chest forward. Squeeze those shoulder blades. And exhale, release. Bring those hands back down. Take a couple rolls through the shoulder. Rolling them back. Maybe you go same direction, maybe go one and then the other. Excellent. All right, let's roll things back and down, coming into a nice reclined position. Planting the feet, bending the knees. Roll those shoulders back and down. Excellent. Let's hug the knees in towards the chest. Let's take one more little tiny ball. Bring the head and the shoulders up. And slowly releasing vertebrae by vertebrae back down. Head lands. Taking a little happy baby, reaching through the knees for the feet. Really squeezing those knees in towards the body. You can create a little resistance here if you just need one more little shoulder pull, just like your gorilla pose. So press the feet into the hands and pull the hands into the feet. Feel how that resets the spine and stretches the shoulders and the hips. Excellent. And then time for a little freestyle. Is there anything else your body needs before we settle into Shavasana? And take a little moment, play around, ask yourself, take exactly what you need. And let it feel good. Oh. Beautiful. Connecting with the breath. as you're ready,
So I was trying to get the music back on.
start to settle back into your Shavasana, or settle into your Shavasana. Whatever that looks like today. Taking a few moments to let the body rest and really acknowledge what we achieved in our class. Maybe you create a little bit more space. Maybe you walk those shoulders back and down. Maybe you try palms facing up. Or maybe you walk the feet a little bit wider, or the hands a little bit farther away. Find something that actually feels good. And let's come back to that breath. And take those inhales. And those exhales. Starting to let the whole body relax. Notice where you have tension. Send the exhale there and let it go. Breathing with that diaphragm, feel the rise and fall of the abdomen. See if you can take 5 full breaths here. Letting each one soften and deepen a little bit more. Finding a nice big breath in. And a nice full breath out. If you need more time in your Shavasana and you have time, go ahead and take it. This is where I will leave you to finish off your practice. Let's take one just cleansing breath, just to release anything else we no longer need. Getting ready. Find that inhale. Breathe in deep. Take that exhale, release. And if you're ready, maybe just bring your hands just to palms touching, then foreheads just touching right on the forehead or that third eye area. May the rest of your day be filled with joy. May you always be blessed. Namaste. Beautiful. Take the time you need. We'll be around for a bit if you want to chat. Otherwise, have a beautiful day.